Hello again, guys. All right, so in the last video where we left off, we were setting up our Laravel project. We set up our email controller, which is going to process the email. We also set up our mailable, which we're going to use to pass information down to the template. And so in this video, we're going to do some validations on our form. Um, and we're going to retrieve information from the form and then also do some validations. And so what we need to do now first is within the routes folder here in the web.php file, we need to set up a route. So we're going to say this is going to be a post method, and I'm going to give it a name. Then I'm going to say the name is going to be send.email. And then here within the post controller, the post method, we're going to say send, um, let's just say send mail, right? And then it's going to be pointing to our send email controller. Okay, and then obviously it's pointing towards the send email method, and then we're going to paste that there. Okay, so now within the form, over here, we're going to use that we're going to use this name. So remember, you don't have to do it this way. You don't have to, like, for example, you can just say something like send mail, right? That route is the name of is this one over here, but I prefer to just use the named route in order to I just prefer to use the named route because it looks a little bit neater. So then we're going to put that name over there, and then you also need to set this as a post method. Okay, so now it's going to post whatever we set up here within the form to um, to our send email controller. So now within here, we're going to validate the form data. So for this, we're going to say this, right? And then here's where we're going to list our our form fields. So I'm just going to open this with two panes. You can just do that by clicking this icon here at the top. Okay, and close that, and then now we have our form. So now the fields we require, we're going to say your name. I'm going to paste that there. We're going to need your last name, and then we're going to need your email, and then we're going to need receiver email. Okay, we're also going to need the subject, and what else? We need the message. Okay, so now we can just close that field. Let's go back to our controller. All right, so here we're just going to say we're not going to do much. We're just going to say required. So let me just copy that, and then here we can pipe this and say this must be an email, like so. Same thing here. You can pipe and say email. So this just validates that this must be an email. And then as for the rest, we're just gonna say required. Okay, and that's it basically. So now to display these error messages, I'm gonna show you with one of the fields. Um, so let's start uh, with the first name field. So for here, I'm gonna say span, I'm gonna say class. The text is gonna be red. So since this is we've got Bootstrap being imported here, we can just use a Bootstrap class and say text danger, right? And then within here, we're gonna say errors first, and we're gonna say, oh, sorry, I'm actually putting it on the wrong line. Um, okay, so make sure you put it. You see, here we have the prepend input group, and then here we have the text. So, and then before that, we have the input group itself. So put your text, that small this small text right after where it says end of input group. Don't put it in the same because disrupt the alignment of these elements within here. So here we need the first name, right? The other thing is we're gonna say old. Sorry, it's gonna be value, and then we're gonna say old. Okay, and then here within the let me actually copy this class name. I'm gonna put it right after the name field. Okay, so here within the form control, the class here, we're gonna say make sure you put a space, by the way, and then we're gonna do this errors. If errors has, we're going to take that name there, we're going to paste it in here. So by the way, I'm using a ternary operator to check and see if the error has this name field here, right? And then we're going to say question mark, then we're going to add that class which says is invalid. Again, this is a bootstrap class which will give this particular field a reddish border, and then otherwise if it doesn't have that error, it'll echo nothing. So by the way, also make sure you have a space there, a space between that form control, otherwise it's gonna not gonna look right. All right, so that's it for the how we're gonna display the errors. So remember, this error variable that you see here, this is set globally due to this method that we are using here. So these errors are going to be displayed, are going to be placed within this global variable, or this variable that we are able to access globally. Okay, so let's just test out and see if when we try and submit the form, does it display our errors. Okay, so I'm just going to do refresh quickly and then press send email. Oh, apologies. Remember to put in a Csrf token field within your form, otherwise it's going to give you that error. So for that, we just need to say Csrf, and then this will create a hidden field that has a random token within it. So let me just go back, refresh, and then send again. All right. So as you can see, due to the classes that we set up, it's giving us our error message over there, and then it's also changing the border of that text input field and giving it a reddish border. Okay, so this is basically what I'm gonna do for the rest of the fields. So exactly what I just showed you now, that's what I'm gonna do for the fields, and then so therefore, um, I'm gonna just pause the video, do that quickly, and then we'll just revise that as soon as I'm back. One moment for me, please. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, so I'm done setting up the validation fields. By the way, I don't know if you did the same on your side, but here on the email subject, I had forgotten to change that field to text. So if just remember to make sure that your fields are set up correctly. So there's only two fields where there needs to be email. It's the receiver email and the sender's email. All right, so and then the last thing is that here on the text area field, as you can see here within the input text field, all we have to do to set up the value to keep the, for example, what happens is that when I enter, let's say that name over there, and if I try to submit, um, as you can see, the data doesn't go away. It stays within the form. And then how that works is with this old method here. So, but for the text area, if you want that to work, you need to put it in between. So where the ending text area element is, and what you call it, and the main and the opening tag and the closing tag. So just put it in between that, those two. And then when if let's say for example you type something in there and then you try to send, it will also keep that old value there. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So as you can see already, the validations are working. So if you've set them up like I showed you before I paused the video, you should be able to get all of these validations displayed. All right, so now that we are able to retrieve the form data and our validations are working, the only thing left is to just send the email, process the email. So for here, what we're gonna do, um, um, actually, you know what? I'm gonna end the video here. That's all we needed to do for the form validations. The next video, it shouldn't take that long. I'm just because I wanted to elaborate as to how all of this works when it comes to sending emails and how we pass data into the mailable class. So I don't want the video to linger on too long, so I'll just end it here. And then within the next video, we'll talk about. I'll try to go in depth as to how this whole functionality works. All right, so I'm ending the video here. Within the next video, we're gonna just talk about this whole email functionality and how it all works and how the data gets passed through to the template and so forth. All right, guys. So if you've liked what you've seen so far, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys within the next video. All right, cheers for now.